Hello and welcome back to Invincible Asia. I'm George from Movie Misfit, and today I get to take a look at the Criterion Blu-ray box set release of Bruce Lee's greatest hits. Oh my god, I am so excited to finally get my hands on this friggin' box set. Of course, it came about just after I'd bought the Enter the Dragon HMV exclusive. You can see my video on the channel for that one, but it's always been Criterion release North America. They never they do release in the UK certain titles, but it's the ones that you want that never seem to reach these shores, especially in Northern Ireland. eBay thankfully had a few kicking around, but they were still wanting megabucks for them, and thankfully there was a seller on there who had this sealed copy of the Bruce Lee Greatest Hits collection from Criterion, and I talked really nicely to him and he kind of reduced that down a wee bit for me, or quite a bit for me, which was nice, and I managed to bag this incredible collection for £60 with free postage and packing, which I thought was amazing. Actually, quite an amazing deal. So let's go. I mean, I know I'm quite late in getting it, but given that we've been hit by Brexit and COVID around the same time and fucking cut off from the rest of the world practically, it makes things a wee bit more difficult to get into the country than usual. So here we have it, this beautifully illustrated box. And with Criterion, a lot of writing on the back there. The top, the side, and then the other spine there. Bottom's just black. Oh my goodness. Right, I'll read it first as to what's included because I'm too excited to get into it. Okay. The Criterion Collection is a continuing series of important classic and contemporary films which present Bruce Lee his greatest hits: Big Boss, Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, and Game of Death. And more. Okay, here we go. Ready? 7 Blu-ray special edition features. 4K digital restorations of The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon, and Game of Death with uncompressed original monaural soundtracks, a new 2K digital restoration of the rarely seen 99-minute 1973 theatrical version of Enter the Dragon with uncompressed original soundtrack. New 2K digital restoration of the 102-minute special edition version of Enter the Dragon with alternate 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. Alternate soundtracks for the films, including original English dub track. 6 audio commentaries on The Big Boss by Bruce Lee expert Brandon Bentley. On The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon, and Game of Death by Hong Kong film expert Mike Leader. And on the special edition version of Enter the Dragon by Paul Heller. High definition presentation of the 1981 film Game of Death 2. Exciting. Game of Death Redux, a new presentation of Lee's original Game of Death footage produced by Alan Canvan. New interviews on all 5 films with Lee biographer Matthew Pauly. New interview with producer Andre Morgan about Golden Harvest, the company behind Hong Kong's top martial arts stars including Bruce Lee. New program about English language dubbing featuring performers Michael Kay, the English-speaking voice of Bruce Lee's Chen Zhen in Fist of Fury, and Vaughn Savage. New interview with author Grady Hendrix about the Bruceploitation subgenre that followed Lee's death, and a selection of Bruceploitation trailers. Blood and Steel, a 2004 documentary about the making of Enter the Dragon. Multiple programs and documentaries about Lee's life and philosophies, including Bruce Lee, the Man and the Legend, and Bruce Lee in His Own Words, 2 other docu-films there. Interviews with Linda Lee Cadwell, Lee's widow, and many of Lee's collaborators and admirers, including actors John T. Benn, Ricky Hashimoto, Nora Mao, Robert Wall, Yuen Hua, and Simon Yam, and directors Clarence Fox, Sammo Hung, and Wong Jing. Oh my god, so exciting! Promotional materials, new English subtitle translations, subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, plus an essay by critic Jeff Chang. Whew, I need a drink after that. Okay, so even with all of that there's still so much more in there. As it says, you know, there's multiple programs and documentaries. Holy shit. Okay, so before I get stuck into this, what's inside, let me just show you what I have had over the years of Bruce Lee. As I've said in the Enter the Dragon video, I'm not the biggest fan of Bruce Lee. I do enjoy his movies. I really enjoy his movies. I think a lot of them are overrated, but I also wouldn't be as mad for him as I am the likes of Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung and that, although they've all had major connections. So over the years, I have had my collection of VHSs, of course, and this is one of the original releases of the Enter the Dragon theatrical cut, I do believe. No, 95 minutes. It could be the theatrical cut, given the frame rate and the change in frame rate, but this I've had in my collection for some time now. Along with that, I did have the whole collection on bootleg. I've often talked about the ads at the back of Impact Movie Magazine or Combat Magazine, where you could get these hard to get movies from private collectors in England or elsewhere, and this is the only one of them that I do have left. So they were sent out in a printed color cover, but obviously they were recorded onto a regular blank tape. For some reason on there I also have Rumble in the Bronx and Aces Go Places 97 and Game of Death. Must have been a good customer. With that I had, and I still have 2 to get. I have number 5 and 6 of this gorgeous Bruce Lee collection. Now these are some of the original released movies, Bruce Lee movies, that I remember watching from I was about 7 or 8 years of age. Mostly Way of the Dragon. Way of the Dragon was one of my go-to movies with Bruce Lee. Now this collection I only just bought last year from eBay off a guy who had never watched them. So these are pristine videotapes and covers of this particular Bruce Lee collection, and I have yet to watch them. Do I need to watch them now that I have the Criterion collection? Who knows? It was very much a nostalgic thing for me. This is the Game of Death one, Screen Legends, and Fist of Fury. So yes, rank home video. Many of us UK collectors have many of the rank home videos. This wonderful symbol here, and the number 1 in the collection, the Big Boss. So yes, that was the start of my my Bruce Lee kind of collection. Yeah, I mean, as a Hong Kong movie fan, you kind of have to get into the Bruce Lee movies. You have to have them if you're a true fan of Hong Kong cinema. Not only that, but by Golden Harvest and the amount of major stars that came from working on Bruce Lee's movies, for me, is a vital piece. Of course, when the DVD market came out, Warner Brothers released this uncut special edition that ran for a wee bit longer than the video edit. 99 minutes, this one, and of course in its wee shitty crappy card cover. I mean, whoever come up with those, I don't know. I hope they've been sacked since then. But then Hong Kong Legends graced our shelves with this fine collection, and with that, have I missed one? Fist of Fury, Game of Death, Way of the Dragon, Game of Death 2. I keep feeling that I've missed something. Okay, Fist of Fury on Hong Kong Legends DVD. And these were a gorgeous. They were some of the earlier Hong Kong Legends releases, but they were really beautifully presented. I actually quite like them. And then with all you got your free prize draw from Hong Kong Legends. I mean, I must have entered, apart from this and maybe a couple of others, every single friggin' card, never won a thing. But there we have the inside of the DVD of Fist of Fury. Then we have Way of the Dragon. I really do enjoy Way of the Dragon. It is definitely one of my faves. And it's the complete uncut version, as it's pointing out. Inside there. And now with the Hong Kong Legends DVDs, there was some great extras with them. There was a load of extras on some of them, but not like this Criterion collection. Not at all. The Game of Death, though, which, again, not many people really take to. I really like it, hence why I have still got the VHS of it from way back then, whenever I was buying them as bootlegs. And I just find it a lot of fun, and it's a movie that has inspired, as has most Bruce Lee movies, but this one in particular has inspired a lot of Bruceploitation movies, even down to the likes of Uma Thurman in Kill Bill with her outfit and so much more. With this one from Hong Kong Legends, it was a double disc release with over 3 hours of special features. So you can imagine how exciting that one was. Then they released Game of Death 2, which I've got to show you because it's part of the Criterion collection, which I'm so excited for. So to be able to have that now on Blu-ray, because this for me is a lot of fun. Yes, it's a Bruceploitation movie, but you've got Yuen Biao as a stuntman in there, you've got Sammo Hung behind fight scenes, you've got Huang Zhongli, you've got so much going on in this movie that it actually makes for its own wonderful kung fu adventure. So here we are with this one and inside. So again, some great extras in there. An interview with Roy Horan, of course, and Roy passed not that long ago also. Dean Sheck and Roy, and oh my god, freaking dropping like flies, drives me insane. So DVD market passed, and then came the Blu-ray. Now all these movies have been released in the UK on Blu-ray before. I can't remember exactly which label, to be honest, but they were there. I never had an urge to go for them on Blu-ray because, again, I'm not the biggest fan. I kind of felt that I didn't need to. But when Criterion announced this with 4K restorations, 2K restorations and so on, and the ton of extras that were there, I had to get it. So I'm glad I held out for that, because I may not have jumped on the Criterion boat if I had gotten other Blu-ray versions. I did, however, only a few weeks ago buy Enter the Dragon HMV exclusive box set. I don't regret it. It's a beautiful box set. Very, very nice. Check out my video on the channel about that one and my unboxing video. But that's everything. Fuck, there's a lot of Bruce Lee stuff there. For someone that's not really a major fan, there's a lot of stuff there. Maybe I am a major fan and I just don't want to jump on it. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. Nice, rigid, not as rigid as the Nova Media boxes, but still very, very, very strong, which is good. Hopefully that will keep everything safe for some time. Oh, holy Jesus, look at this. Okay. It's quite a thick collection. I just don't want anything to fall out, but it is going to fall out. Like a disc. A disc is falling out. Crush, crush, crush. Okay. I'm going to get to this in a minute. This is in there, but first of all, I just wanted to hold this up. This reminds me of the Bong Joon-ho box set that I did on video not so long ago. But look at this. This is why I'm glad I have a GoPro, because you can see everything. How sweet. Now let me turn it round. If I can turn it safely without anything falling out. And here we have this gorgeous 7-disc collection of all these incredible, incredible things. Okay. Some people think I'm a wee bit mad when it comes to my bad habit. It's a good bad habit. I have to say it's my only bad habit, which I'm proud of. It's a costly bad habit, but I still think it's worth every penny, because there's nothing really does bring me more happiness in terms of the entertainment world than Hong Kong movies and Kung Fu movies, Asian cinema. It's just the best. It is the best. There's no arguing it. Okay, here we go. This is included in there. It was kind of crammed in, so it's hardly been looked after. Bruce Lee, his greatest hits. This is done very much like an old 70s style magazine. Table of contents: the films, Water and Vessel, the Kung Fu movies of Bruce Lee by Jeff Chang, and about the restorations. I can't exactly flick through this. Wow, look at this. I mean, I don't know whether this is cheap or not. Would it have been better as, let's say, a book like 88 Films release with their special editions? Or do I like that kind of retro feel? I'm torn, which is pretty much like this magazine is going to be if I don't open it carefully. Plenty of artwork in there, plenty of write-ups, some lovely photos. Ooh. I mean, how many more photos that we haven't seen of Bruce Lee can we ever see again? There's so much there that has been repeated over the years, over the decades, that, you know, I think that's part of my gripe. It's not that I'm not a huge Bruce Lee fan per se. It's the fact that every week there's something else. And you can only repeat the same thing over and over and over. We all know how amazing he was. We all know how amazing a kung fu star he was, an actor, a martial artist. But to see this, you know, and it's even in the likes of Impact Magazine every week or every month, and Combat and all that kind of thing, every month there was something else about Bruce Lee. I mean, for fuck's sake, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Thankfully, this Criterion collection gives us everything we need to know, and then some. And people can maybe start writing about other Hong Kong movie stars and save those pages for Jackie Chan or Sammo Hung. And, you know, these are other stars that have aged. Heroes of mine that have now aged, and some are passing very quickly, which is very sad, and I hope we get to see the same amount of attention for those people. Anyway, I have a lot of movies to watch, a lot, so I may just finish this video another day, because I don't know if I'm going to get through them all tonight. Anyway, until then, I'm just going to go here and get started. See you soon. Okay, so it has taken me quite a few days to get through this whole box set. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a lengthy watch. Of course, there are the 5 movies on here. And there's a second version of Enter the Dragon. There is Game of Death to Tower of Death. And then there's an abundance of documentaries also in between, interviews, commentaries, featurettes. Look, honestly, really, the Criterion Bruce Lee set for me is amazing. An absolute must if you're a fan of Hong Kong cinema, a fan of Bruce Lee, a fan of Kung Fu. You really need to get this. It is beautifully put together, absolutely fantastic. In fact, I'll go as far to say that it has probably been the best versions of any Bruce Lee movie I've seen, and a lot of great informative things on there that have also maybe helped me find a new appreciation for Bruce Lee, I have to say. The films themselves, Enter the Dragon, I want to say the Enter the Dragon, the 102, 103 minute version is the same as the HMV exclusive. And while it's more than likely the same print itself, it just seemed a wee bit cleaner on here. I don't know why. It just gave me that impression that it was a bit cleaner. The theatrical version of Enter the Dragon on here looks amazing. Again, it still has something about it. There's the both of these are 2K restorations, but it wasn't as clear or as sharp as Big Boss, Fist of Fury, and Game of Death, which those three completely blew me away. They were absolutely stunning to watch. I mean, incredible to watch. It was like watching brand new movies. I actually had put on one of the trailers of Fist of Fury, and they haven't touched them. They're obviously still the very old style, grainy look to it, faded colours. And my husband walked in and he said, oh, that's a crap Blu-ray. And I says, Kenny, this is just the trailer. Let me show you. And I jumped back into the movie, put it on around the similar scene to what he had just seen in the trailer. And even he was blown away. I was like, look at the work involved in bringing this movie to life, bringing it back. And he had never seen anything quite like it. So yeah, definitely for me, those three movies, Big Boss, Fist of Fury, and Game of Death, definitely looked the greatest on here. Tower of Death in HD was brilliant. Absolute treat. Again, I have the Hong Kong Legends version of it, and I forgot to show the Big Boss DVD from Hong Kong Legends, I know. But to see it in HD was brilliant. It's only the English dub, though, which is fun. I mean, it's fine. It's fun. We know with the Hong Kong Legends DVD, we have the original language options there. The special features, with the quality, Way of the Dragon. Okay, so Way of the Dragon was an odd one. It did look, let's say, the best it could ever look, obviously, with its restoration, its 4K restoration, but due to some out of focus shots and the way it was captured, it didn't quite look as sharp or as amazing as Big Boss, Fist of Fury, and Game of Death. Neither did Enter the Dragon, strangely enough. So those two movies, Where the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, were so-so for me visually, but still looked amazing, if you know what I mean. Whereas the other three blew my mind, like completely blew my mind. They were just fucking gorgeous to watch. The interviews, for the most part, there's a lot of fresh stuff on here, but a lot of the interviews also are carried over from the Hong Kong Legends DVDs, as are some of the documentaries and featurettes. There's a lot of other fresher docos there, and docos of Bruce Lee that have come out over the years that are now here as one collective piece, all except Curse of the Dragon, which is on the HMV exclusive of Enter the Dragon. The Mike Leader commentaries, which appear on everything but Enter the Dragon and Tower of Death, are actually the commentaries from his, I think, 2013 commentaries for Shout Factory for their Bruce Lee releases. Still entertaining to listen to, of course they are. And then there's a few new commentaries on there from others as well. The little 10-minute segments between each movie from Matthew Polly, like given 10 minutes on The Big Boss, 10 minutes on Fist of Fury, and so on, were very, very fun to watch, very insightful. And again, something that came out of them that just made me seem to appreciate Bruce a wee bit more. So, look, all in all, I still haven't even watched the majority of the documentaries on here. I still got to go back to it and watch them again with the commentaries, because I watched maybe 2 or 3 with Mike's commentaries, but I want to see everything. Of course I do. I also want to see the other versions of the other version of Enter the Dragon, and then there's a Game of Death Redux on there, which is actually like a 30 to 35 minute re-edited story of Bruce's own the footage that he had created himself. So there's none of the cut and paste segments in there from Robert Klaus and others, but it's an interesting wee piece. It's mainly just the fighting, obviously, So it's like a very cool short movie, but it's worth watching. Yeah, it's dubbed differently. It's got new sound effects and coloring and everything. So it's a different piece altogether. The Bruceploitation segment was fun with a host of Bruceploitation trailers. And what else have we got in there? Tons. I mean, there is tons. Every time you go into a disc and you open up what they call a supplement, there's tons of extras in there. But there's actually I need to open it again because it is quite massive. Check out that magazine. And I'll just turn them discs around because I don't think I showed you before that each of the discs obviously have their numbers present. So, as you can see, disc 6 and 7 are called the supplement discs, which actually have, I think 6 is like, let's say more so the special features for Enter the Dragon. So the second version is there, and the documentary Bruce Lee, the man, the legend, is on there also, and a few other wee bits. Disc 7, or maybe I've got these around the wrong way, is like a supplement disc to Game of Death, where you have Tower of Death on there, and Bruceploitation things, and a whole mix more on that also. But each disc itself has its own collection of special features, interviews, documentaries, trailers, TV spots, radio spots, and so much more. Honestly, my mind, I have to say, I put this in the wrong way, sorry. My mind is totally blown by this collection. I am so glad that I finally got it. I'll probably, never say never, but I'll probably never go back to the older versions that I have of these movies, if only for the special features. There's some different special features still out there on the Hong Kong Legends and other things, but yeah, this is a must for any Bruce Lee fan. I'm sure you've already got it. Hong Kong movie fan, Kung Fu movie fan, or genuinely just a film fan. This is an amazing set that should be in your collection. So there we go. That was a bit longer than I expected with that one. As I say, at the start, I was going on about how much I like Bruce Lee's fights and appreciate him and all this kind of thing, and his movies and his martial artistry, and as a person, but I just felt over the years there's just been the same thing repeated and too much. This kind of like combines everything you want, need, and should know about Bruce Lee and slams it all together in one big box. And yeah, it is a 5-star collection of movies from me. So there we go. All right, done and dusted. I just got a delivery of some amazing stuff, so I'm going to try and take a break and then jump right into them. So join me next time as I check out the latest martial arts and Hong Kong and Asian movies on Blu-ray. I'm not going to say what yet because I haven't decided which one I'm going to pick. Until then, enjoy your Kung Fu and I'll see you soon.